It's a joyful day in Cana, a little town in Galilee. The air is alive with music and laughter, the smell of fresh bread and roasted lamb drifting between tables. Everyone is celebrating a wedding, a feast to honor two families coming together. Among the guests are Mary, the mother of Jesus, as well as Jesus himself and his disciples. The laughter is contagious, the dancing vibrant. But then, something happens. Mary notices the whispers, the furrowed brows among the servants. The wine has run out. Now, in those times, running out of wine wasn't just embarrassing, it was a disaster. Wine wasn't just a drink, it was a symbol of joy, of blessing, of hospitality. To run out meant the celebration would stop short, the joy would fade. Mary turns to her son. "They have no more wine," she says quietly. Jesus looks at her, his expression gentle but firm. "Dear woman, why do you involve me? My time has not yet come." Instead, with a quiet confidence, she simply looks at the servants and says, "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby, there are 6 large stone jars, each capable of holding gallons and gallons of water. These jars aren't for drinking, they're used for ceremonial washing, a symbol of purification. Jesus tells the servants, "Fill the jars with water," and so they do, right to the brim. Then, he instructs them, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." Imagine the servants' thoughts. They know it's just water. But something extraordinary happens. When the master of the banquet tastes it, his eyes widen in amazement. "This is incredible," he says. "Everyone brings out the best wine first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink. But you've saved the best for last." It wasn't water anymore, it had become wine. But not just any wine, the best wine. This moment would go down as the first miracle Jesus performed. It wasn't flashy or dramatic. It happened quietly, within the heartbeat of celebration, among family and friends. But it was more than just a wedding story. It was a sign, a glimpse of who Jesus was and what he had come to do. And here's the takeaway for us. Those jars, filled to the brim with plain, ordinary water, they're a lot like our lives. Maybe you felt empty, dry, or merely ordinary. But when Jesus enters the picture, he brings transformation. He takes what we have, no matter how simple, no matter how insufficient, and he turns it into something beautiful, abundant, and overflowing with joy. So the next time you face a moment that feels like it's running dry, remember this. If Jesus can turn water into wine, he can turn your lack into plenty, your despair into hope, and your ordinary into extraordinary. Because that's just who he is, a savior who saves the very best for last. So the next time you face a moment that feels like it's running dry, remember this. If Jesus can turn water into wine, he can turn your lack into plenty, your despair into hope, and your ordinary into extraordinary. Because that's just who he is, a savior who saves the very best for last.